right, welcome to the opening episode of the Bettercast. I'm Yelkreb,
I'm Neely.
and we're going to be getting things kicked off here to start Season 3 of the Tier 2 League and Season 1 of our Titans League. Today we're going to be going over the power rankings, who we think is going to win their first week of games, and the map pools for both leagues for Week 1. So, Neely, I'm going to throw it over to you for your Tier 2 power rankings.
All right, so for my Tier 2 power rankings, I'm going to start off with Blackout. Going to move it to No Daylight. Third is going to be Blueprint Chaos. Fourth, Fat Shats. Fifth, Lunar Colony. Sixth, Blinks. Seventh, New Future. New team, don't know anything about them from the Overforced Academy there. And eighth, HLA, moving up from Tier 1. Happy little accidents, just to clarify.
Okay.
Should I speak any more onto that?
Well, I was gonna say that you had New Future as a new team, pretty low in your rankings. Blackout, also a new team. You had them at number 1. So if you just want to explain that real quick, because that's a curveball.
So Blackout, the reason I have them so high is, one, they've just recently acquired Dr. Chaboy, which is just a great DPS signing, highly rated SR-wise, been on a team with him, but also it's going to be VOD reviewed by Zach as a pinhead, and just overall the Blackwatch org is they're just full of success stories, I think, all around. So I think it's a good bet to put them high on your power rankings. And the reason I have New Future so low is because, one, I don't know anything about them, not one little thing, and I know that they're a part of the Overforced Academy, which in Season 1 of BA didn't do super great. I think they came in last. I know J-Cal came from them, who's now a GM player. So it's not that they don't have greatness inside of them and they can't create anything good, but I don't know anything about them other than that. So I put them low on my tier list.
Okay, and yeah, like you said, Blackout coming from the Blackwatch org, they did win the last season of the Better League, so definitely strong foundation in that org.
Absolutely.
All right.
And everyone else that I have on my power rankings, I would say I've seen some scrims. I kind of know some teams like a little bit, but it's pretty, if you thought you were low on those power rankings, just know that, I don't know that much. That's just kind of like a what I'm thinking right now, and I guarantee half those could just flip. So go work hard out there and prove me wrong.
I mean, this first week, a lot of teams are going to prove a lot of things. I'm honored that No Daylight is your number 2 pick. They're not even my number 2 pick, and I'm their coach, so that's saying something right there. But my tier 2,
Absolutely.
It's looking a lot different. I got Lunar Colony as the top seed. They scrim almost every day. So
yeah,
they got their rotations down pat. I bet for the map pool coming up, they're gonna know exactly what comps they want to run, and they're just gonna be playing with some strong cards in their hands. And then number 2, I got Blinks, just because on the roster sheet they looked like they had a pretty high team SR. We'll see. I haven't heard too much about them in the scrims or anything yet, so I'm really just going off rank based for that. And then number 3, I got the boys and our one e-girl. I got No Daylight at number 3. Because I got faith in my team to at least be in a playoff position at the end of the season and be fighting for the championship. And then number 4, I got Blueprint Chaos. Got to show a little love to the old org. Number 5, I got Fat Shats, who is No Daylight's first game of the league, and we're actually playing tonight, April 10th at 8 p.m. I don't know if this podcast is going to be out by then, but try to catch that. Score is going to be posted later. And then number 6, I got New Future, the brand new team. 7, another brand new team, Blackout. You had them at number 1. I got them at number 7. I mean, they're coming from a good org, but I got them down there because, just like New Future, I really don't know too much about them. And then number 8, I also have Happy Little Accidents. I mean, they're moving up from tier 1 to tier 2, so they're going to have to fight really hard on this rank ladder.
Yeah, I think that's just going to be tough. Because I know in T3 there's going to be a team doing a very similar thing to that. And I think it's one thing if you have one player make the jump, but if you have a whole team making that jump together, I bet they dominated tier 1. but I'm sure they're gonna have to fight for the bottom of the pack. The bottom 6 spots there to maybe make an impact. Not
Yeah,
everything's gonna be a win for them.
they'll definitely have to be fighting hard. There's a team in the Titans League in Tier 3 similar to Happy Little Accidents. We'll get into that in those power rankings in a little bit. But let's jump over to who we think. Actually, let's go over the map pools first. Tier 2 map pool. So we've got the first map, Control Busan. Second map, Eichenwald. Third map, Hanamura. Fourth map, Dorado. And the fifth map is Ilios. What do you think of that map pool there, Neely?
Well, I like Busan, Eichenwald, and Dorado. I think that's pretty common. Some people might not like Busan, but Hanamura and Ilios, pretty gross maps altogether. Ilios has a well, can't play Reinhardt. Hanamura, they need to open up the door next to the other door so I can attack point one. And point two is just a whole nightmare because it's 2 CP. I think most people in scrims, tell me if I'm wrong, we just say, who needs to play 2 CP? And we just play another escort map because it's more fun. And we're not about not having fun in scrims. So Hanamura could really throw some curveballs at people because I guarantee nobody's scrimming it.
2 CP breaks a lot of backs in scrims, but I think Ilios is the fifth map as the tiebreaker is really going to test a lot of teams' mettle. Just with the well map, with ruins, I mean, you can break out some boop comps, for well, and then you can break out some long-range sniper comps, so we're really going to see the well-rounded team win that map a lot more. And if it comes down to, well on the third map, Game 7 atmosphere, I mean, both teams are probably going to throw some funky strats at the wall to try and get that win.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times back in season 1 when we were casting. Couple map 5 game 7 scenarios on a well. I mean, it's tense. Some people who are Reinhardt teams opt to go Reinhardt and do a rat play on it, but whew, rough map, dude.
Tough to run the Reinhardt, but yeah, we've seen a lot of teams get away with it in the past. You just got to be aggressive and hold as close to that spawn as possible. So, going into the week 1 picks here, who do you think is going to win the Tier 2 game between Lunar Colony and Happy Little Accidents?
I got Lunar Colony. I don't have a number pick map wise because I think we'll just do that next week. But Happy Little Accidents, as we said, moving up. Lunar Colony scrims a lot. I think it's gonna be pretty one-sided, but see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Lunar Colony taking that one too. Lunar Colony's atop my power rankings for Tier 2, and Happy Little Accidents right now, they're clawing at the bottom. So I think that's gonna be an easy dub for Lunar, but I'm really hoping that Happy Little Accidents gives them a run for their money. I would love to see the team that just moved up be a contender.
Take control, like the first map type. I feel like that's where a lot of weird things happen. I know some teams, like my team, are horrible at control and could lose to anybody because it's control. So you could maybe Happy Little Accidents could throw in a Rhine with a May Reaper and just make it happen.
It would be a great time for them to make a name for themselves. So going into our next game, who do you think is going to win between Blinks and Blackout?
I got Blackout winning, but that should be a good game. I think that should be close.
I mean,
Nothing
we've
really
talked
much to
about
say
this
on it, though.
before the podcast. That could be the game of the week because Blinks, very high rated with their SR. Blackout, brand new, gonna have a lot of eyes on them, coming from a great org. So if they win that game, then they are someone you don't want to mess with in the Tier 2 league.
Yeah. Well, if I had to say anything about Blackout that I do know, I filled in a couple of their internal scrims where they were signing these players, and I think some of them were in the Pug last night. Some of these guys are good. They have a couple good tag players coming in, but we'll have to see. I know nothing about Blinks other than their SR, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much they're scrimming. I think they're just trying to have some high-ranked players and just throw that at the wall and see how well it pans out for them. Maybe they're going to have to practice a little more as the league goes on, but that's going to be a good game. High rank versus high practice. So, next game, we got Blueprint Chaos and the brand new team New Future. I got Blueprint Chaos taking that one. I don't know anything about New Future, and I know Blueprint's coming off a couple of hot scrims.
Yeah, I mean, Blueprint's been a little up and down, just that's, coming from me. They show great points in their game, and then sometimes they just, I think, get frustrated and fall apart. But I mean, a lot of good players. I play with them on almost a daily basis in comp all the time. And I know nothing about New Future other than that they come from Overforce, and that's it. So I got my money on Blueprint here as well.
All right, and the last game for Week 1, Tier 2 is Fat Chats versus my pride and joy, No Daylight. I mean, it's pretty obvious who I'm picking here. We actually did scrim Fat Chats last week, and it was close. It was a close scrim, but we managed to eke them out for a win. I don't think they had their best lineup in, so this game is going to be a little higher quality than the scrim, so they're gonna test us for sure.
I have Fat Chats actually winning that one. I had you circled first. I had No Daylight circled, but I was just like, I mean, if I watched some of it, and I know for some of the maps they took out Chip and Walrus Manslap, the season 1 Ryan legend, which I wish I could have ever faced in the season, but I was never allowed to. So I think if they keep in Walrus the whole time, could be tricky for Dex over there. Who knows?
They did win the season 1 of the Better League. They're well coached. They scrim a lot. Chip Shots is a great captain over there. Walrus always rallies the troops. I mean, no one gets tilted off the map on Fat Chats. They always come together. Map 4, map 5. They don't get rattled. So that's gonna be a good game to watch too.
Couple of good guys over there.
Yeah, good team. All right. I mean that's all I got for Tier 2. You want to move on over to Tier 3 Titans League?
Absolutely, and I'll take my power rankings a little slower because I just rifled through them, and there's only 6. There's only 6 for T3, so at number 1, I'm pretty much the same. I like Blackwatch as an org, and I have Blackwatch up top. I've scrimmed them. I know their tanks, and I know their supports. Very strong, and they have very strong VOD reviewing from Zach as a pinhead. As you can tell, I put a lot of stock in that for a team because I love his VOD reviews, so I've got them at number 1. I think they're going to be an absolute titan of the Titans League. Number 2, I have SR Goblins. Only ever seen them play against Lookout, and Lookout took a T4, and they did exceptionally well. So I think those two teams are going to be battling for that number 1 spot all season. But I can't wait to play SR Goblins because again, that's part of the Fat Chats org. Bunch of good guys, and hopefully we can take it to them. In third, I have my team, Strike. If I, can get my stuff together on Reinhardt, I think we can be a really good contender because everyone around me is exceptionally good. But hopefully I can be having a good day, But everybody's responsive and shows up, and that's what I appreciate. At
Putting
number
a lot of
4,
pressure on yourself there.
hey, I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, I think if anybody talks about themselves on a team, you're like, I mean, I hope I can show up today. You know what I mean? That would be nice. Number 4, we have Horizon Lunar Colony. And I have them at 4 just because, again, they scrim a lot. I'm not sure if I've ever seen, their full T3 team. I've seen PogChimp 1 or 2 times, and good googly. He's a good player, so I don't know if he can play or not. I haven't, checked his SR for, the seasons we're doing, but I know some of their players are very good, so Horizon I have at number 4, and I think they could also be battling for anywhere in the top 4 spots. And then coming up at the tail end at number 5, I have Smoothies. And again, I don't have a ton of information on them. I think they were Owl from Season 2, went through some changes. I think they were T2, they moved up. I don't know if they scrim a lot. I know we've scrimmed them, and I do think we were able to eke out a win as well. And so that's why I have them a little lower. And then for Death Watch, they're the team just like Happy Little Accidents. They were T2. They're moving up to T3 because some of their players were going to be T3, and they really wanted to stay together, and you kind of got to admire that a little bit. But and I know that they occasionally will scrim the Blackwatch T3, so they know how to play against some good teams. I mean, they're not strangers to T3. Whew, words.
Yeah, my Tier 3 power rankings are, some are pretty close, some are a little different. Number 1, Blackwatch. The Season 2 champs, they're gonna come to play every single game. They're gonna be well coached. They're gonna go over the VODs, and I think on any map pool, you can't feel comfortable playing Blackwatch. And then number 2,
maybe Control though.
Maybe Control. That's when you can steal a map, and if you push a map 5, then you got some daylight. But number 2,
I just heard a lot of their players.
All right, what'd you hear? What'd you hear about a lot of their players, Cam?
I keep cutting you off during your thing. I was just going to say they hate Control and they always lose it. That's all I was going to say.
They do always lose it. So if you can make that overtime map, that map 5, you got a chance. Number 2, I got Strike. Because maybe I pick favorites. Who knows? Number 3. Not much to say on strike there. I guess it all depends on if Neely shows up on Ryan, because God knows I'm going to be showing up on May. Number 3, we got SR Goblins. Number 4, Smoothies. I have SR Goblins above Smoothies just because I know we scrimmed Smoothies, and I've seen SR Goblins play one time, so I'm just kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt there. Smoothies seemed to have some trouble when they were playing us, but I think they can get it together. Number 5, this is where it gets interesting. I originally had him at number 6, but at number 5, I've got Deathwatch, who's in the same shoes as Happy Little Accidents, like you said. They're moving up a tier, but I know they've been scrimming hard every single week, multiple scrims a week, doing the VOD reviews, paying attention, figuring out what comps they want to run, and I put them above Horizon, who I got ranked 6. I think Deathwatch is going to come to play. I think they want to, more than anything, I think they want to play Blackwatch in the championship, and to do that, they got to pay attention and practice in scrims, and just be the most improved team from bottom all the way to top. Yeah, that's my tier 3 rankings. Anything to say on that?
Not really. I think that's an interesting look. I think I could see why maybe you'd put Horizon lower, because I think we have never really seen their full actual tier 3 roster. So I don't exactly know who they're going to have, and a lot of things could change. I think the thing that they have going for them is that they also scrim a lot. So I think the main thing with these 6 teams is almost anything could happen. I think it's pretty up in the air, and you're going to have to make each week of these 5 weeks really count.
The only team in tier 3 I would put my money on to be in the playoffs, no matter what, out of these tier 3 teams is Blackwatch.
Yeah.
Anything else can happen. I mean, anyone can fall out, anyone can get in. So, that tier 3, you're going to have to be working hard for those 4 playoff spots.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, going into the tier 3 map pool, a little bit different than the tier 2 map pool. Map 1, we got Control, it's Oasis. Map 2, 2CP, Temple of Anubis. Map 3, Kings Row. Map 4, Escort, Junkertown. And Map 5, the tiebreaker, which will be the tiebreaker all season long, is Nepal. Anything jump out at you there?
Anything jump out at me? Not
Kings
really.
Row.
I mean, I like it. Yeah, I like everything but Junkertown. Temple of Anubis, it's 2CP, so you kind of you're just oh, that's right, we have to play it because it's the league. Don't really want to do that. But luckily, my team has always done really well on Temple, so I appreciate seeing a little Temple of Anubis. I don't think anybody really hates Nepal, and I guess a ton of people hate Oasis to some of those polls that we saw. A lot of people don't like it. I like Oasis.
I like Oasis.
I can't get booped off the map unless I run at the cars.
Unless
other
you
than
get
that,
killed by a
I'm
Honda.
pretty safe. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think it's going to be interesting.
Seems pretty legit.
A Junkertown comes after Kings Row, because Kings Row is, traditionally a very deathball strong map, and a lot of people love it for that. I mean, it was a legendary GOATS map back in the day. So people are going to be running tight deathballs, I would imagine, and then Junkertown opens up so much that we're going to have to see the versatile team come out with a long-range comp or a dive comp. You're just going to see strats mixed up a lot from map to map right there.
Yeah, Junkertown, I even in ranked right now, well, before the changes with Zarya even being out of the pool, I've been playing just Orisa way more on Junkertown, because it's just, sometimes on Reinhardt, there's high ground on every point, and the first point is just there's no walls, there's nowhere to hide. You have to be, if you commit, you're committed, and it's unless your team is really speed boosting you in, you're taking stuff down. I mean, Junkertown is a nightmare.
Yeah, you can get a lot of comps to work there too. And a good thing about this league we're doing is it does not follow the rules of hero bans. So if there is a stable meta, it will be played. Yeah. I don't think there will be, though.
Which I appreciate. Yeah, no, not for Junkertown.
Oh, definitely not for Junkertown. I think the reason why people hate
Junkertown is Bastion could show up, and nobody ever likes to see Bastion. It's just not... Who cares about Bastion? That's all I want to say. Unless you're Jay Doney from the Pug last night.
Yeah, he was going crazy on Bastion and the Pug. Debatably throwing, debatably doing strats that his own team just wasn't ready for, to put it nice.
Yeah. Yeah, very nicely. Anyway.
All right, going on to the picks for the Titans League, Week 1. I've got, in the Strike versus Smoothies game, we did just scrim Smoothies, and we won. It was a good game, but I'm obviously going to pick Strike right there. How could I not pick Strike right there? Got the same?
I mean, I told you to before. I told you to, before the podcast. I was like, if you don't pick Strike, I think I'm going to have to find a new, I'm going to have to leave this podcast. But yeah, I got Strike because, just, scrim bucks. I'm gonna cash him in right here.
And here you are not picking the team I coach for Tier 2. Just a power dynamic.
I had him in my notes. They're circled, which was defined a win. But I was thinking about the tank matchup as we got closer, and I was like, I think if Walrus, really shows up and holds the shield, I mean, I can't. It's hard to say, dude. It's hard to say. Anyway.
Hard to say. Second game of the week is SR Goblins versus Deathwatch. I think in terms of a close game, that could be a really good one. I got SR Goblins winning.
Okay, that's what I figured. So do I. But I think I have a little more stock in SR Goblins. I know they're exceptionally confident about themselves. I've heard rumors that they've scrimmed everybody and they haven't lost except the Lookout. Now, I have not scrimmed you, SR Goblins. Hello, and I don't think Blackwatch has either. So those are two of the main orgs that are at most things. So who knows who they've scrimmed, but they could be scrimming CGL. I don't really know what they've been doing behind the scenes. I just like some of their players. So I have a little more stock in them. I think it's going to be more one-sided SR Goblins because I think they could be a powerhouse.
Could be. If we were to pick,
we don't know
what games are going to go 5 maps or 4 maps, I would say this one's likely to go 5. I think Deathwatch is going to surprise a lot of people. Maybe you don't have as much stock in them as I do, but I think Deathwatch is really gonna pull out all the stops and go the distance with a lot of these teams. But the third game of the week. Blackwatch versus Horizon. I think we're consistent with all of our wins this week. I think we got Strike, SR Goblins, and Blackwatch all winning. Who do you have?
Yep,
okay.
Yep, Blackwatch.
That one could be close too. I mean, again, we haven't seen the full force of Horizon Tier 3, but God knows we've seen the full force of Blackwatch Tier 3, and they're fierce.
I've seen the full force, though. Also, the one thing I'll say about Blackwatch is I have not scrimmed them exclusively without Lil Tax Evasion on Batiste shooting me in the face. So we'll see how the support line holds up with them and if Shrimp can not high noon in Timbuktu behind the team. I know when he gets that noon, he gets a look in his eye and he wants to make something happen. So they can keep it all together. Zach has done his job over there, which I hope he hasn't because I'm on strike and so is he. I hope he's not giving him all the keys to the castle.
All right, well, I mean, that does it for the pick'ems for Week 1 for Tier 3 and Tier 2. You got anything else to say about the league before we wrap this thing up?
I mean, I know you and I are going to be casting a lot of these games, probably a lot of them together, maybe some separate because you have your obligations with No Daylight. I know Blueprint as an org altogether has a couple people in it that like to cast, and I kind of just hope anybody else who wants to cast just does it. I know the league's starting. You didn't do it for scrims. Don't be afraid to do it, number one. But if you say you're going to do it, just follow through. If you think it's going to be bad or you're going to be nervous, you can be nervous. I don't care. But it's not that nerve-wracking. Just go on there and do whatever you want. Just, make sure all the stream is set up right. We have people that can help you with that. It's not very hard. I just stream from my Xbox. I don't have anything special. And I just cast like I'm doing sports. And I have a good time. Like, I goof around, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a friend where you and your friend talk about Overwatch a lot, I mean, hop into a game and just do a cast with them because it is a lot of fun. And I was nervous the first time we did a cast. I remember sitting in my chair being nervous right when I hit the go live button. But I mean, once you start, there's just a game in front of you and you're really just telling people what's going on in that game. That's all it is. And like you said, it's a whole lot of fun. We goof around a lot when we do them. You don't have a very well set up stream. You kind of got the bare bones stream going for you. I've got kind of a nice one, which there's a little bit of a learning curve if you want to make your stream look nice, but There's a lot of people in the Better Academy Discord who, like myself, other people too, they'll help you out setting up your stream. We've got the files for the overlays and all sorts of stuff to help you out with that. And yeah, there's a lot of games to be casted, and we definitely can't do them all. The people in Blueprint can't do them all. So if you're looking to get into casting, this is a great opportunity to put your foot in the door.
One last thing on that I'd like to add. I don't care what tier you are as a player. You could probably, if you're tier 1 and you want to do T3, you can do it. Maybe it won't be as good, maybe you won't have all the insights, but it's not about having insights. It's about seeing ultimates, seeing things happen, and getting excited about it, bringing hype to the league. That's really what it's all about. Yelk and I have done tier 5. We are not tier 5 players.
There was a time where Neely and I were rated 2,800, and we were casting teams who had a 4,300 average. And by no means did we have the knowledge of the game that they had, but like I said, there's a game in front of you, and you're telling people what's happening in that game, and things might happen faster to higher SR than you're used to, but I mean, that's just another reason to get excited about it.
Exactly. I mean, I remember we were just like, wow, that's what they do? Just like, I think we were just like, sometimes we were just blown away, so. Anyway.
I remember there was a coalescence on King's Row in one of the games we casted that was comboed with an anti-nade. And I was like, that was basically like as good as a Grav Dragon combo in Plat, but they just used a cooldown in the Coalescence, which is a throwaway ult. Like, it was insane. I was blown away the first tier 5 game we casted. Alright, so one more thing on the leagues. Tier 2, there's 8 teams. It's going to be 7 weeks long. Tier 3, there are 6 teams. It's going to be 5 weeks long for the regular season. Both leagues are going to have a playoff. I believe in each league, the top 4 teams are going to make up those playoff spots. It's going to be, I believe, single elimination. So that means you're going to have the semifinals, and you're going to be going straight to the finals. So those playoff spots mean a lot if you're on the bubble at the edge of the season. I mean, those tail end games, I mean, don't burn yourself out, because you got to come to play in those last games of the season, because they could matter a lot.
And no hero bans.
No hero bans.
For either,
I said
correct?
that before, but that is...
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to figure this is a good time to cap it.
Yeah, that is important.
Just be like, boom. Because who likes those? Nobody. I almost got out of Overwatch because of it. It's close. It's close call.
We'll be trying to do one of these better casts every week as the leagues go on, and hopefully we can get a little more accurate with our pick'ems. We can start going what we think is going to be the score in the map differential between the games, and we're going to be starting to maybe rearrange our power rankings as it goes on as well. Do you have anything
halfway through
you would like to plug as we wrap this up?
Yeah, you could follow me on Twitter at GMNeelyOW. That's all. That's all for me.
That's all you got. All right, you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. It's the same handle. It's alt_ULT_charge. And yeah, that's all I got. We'll see you on the next episode. I've been Yelkreb.
I've been Neely.
And thanks for pressing Q.